Yeah, definitely. So where were we? You were talking about. I know we're talking about big deals. Yeah, the spread. Acting like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, especially with the knowledge, right? You have to invest in your knowledge and in your education, and then have a sense of confidence when talking to these owners of these big apartment buildings. And what happens when you go ahead and target these bigger deals, you're able to offer a way deeper price, way lower price than actual value. Like that property that I made $325,000 on, that one was worth $1.6 million.
Okay.
I got it for $500,000.
Okay.
So
you were able to still give the end buyer a good deal.
Yeah.
And you were able to make your spread,
100%.
and the owner still was able to sell it and get some decent money out of there.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's what they were asking, and we negotiated down or what.
Honestly, they were considering less.
Wow.
They wanted.
It's probably screwed up building. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I didn't.
Older people maybe.
Yeah, I'm not the type of guy to go ahead and just lowball people like one day after closing, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't think it's ethical at all. So it was $500,000 and sold it for $825. And everybody lived happily ever after. So
I like
it was
that.
pretty legit, man.
Okay.
I was actually considering taking it down, but man, that rehab that was like a $600,000 rehab.
Yeah, bro. I don't doubt it. I have this apartment complex right now in the valley, and I still considering getting a course though to do more more volume.
Yeah, for sure.
with the apartments, but. Yeah, hopefully selling, but the rehab was basically so big and it's far away, and I'm like, man, I have it under contract to sell as is right now. Yeah, selling it for like just under 300,000.
How many units?
22.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's heavy value add. So
wow.
Yeah, if this falls through, this falls through for some reason, I'll definitely shoot it your way.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. Wow. But yeah, dude, that's one of those things with multifamily and gaining these bigger spreads. You could just do it easily. Or
how many units, if you don't mind me asking? No.
It was 20 units.
Okay, so step one is you said go up to higher priced assets or higher priced values to get bigger spreads.
Exactly, 100%.
You can't just be doing it on $100,000 houses.
100%. And then you go ahead and invest into your education. Because you're not gonna have a lot of confidence if you just don't have the education right.
Okay.
And then do the marketing. So you do the marketing. So find the asset, decide on the asset type, invest into the education, do the marketing, talk to sellers, and make a bunch of offers, man. Just shoot out offers. I feel like you don't want to go out there and take a look at properties, man. You just want to go out. You just want to make offers, man. Fuck the looking at properties, none of that. You just make offers and shit.
So with these apartment complexes, I've seen you flipping. If I believe right, I've seen you flipping apartment complexes all the way from like Amarillo. You say Amarillo. I don't think that's how you. I think it's Amarillo.
Right.
Yeah. He's never even. I wouldn't be surprised if he's never even been to some of these towns.
Yeah, no, never.
But all the way from there, probably down all the way to the border where my stuff is. You're telling me that you're talking to the owner and you're saying, "Hey, Sally, yeah, we're interested in purchasing a complex in your area," and then you're giving them an offer over the phone. You're not going out and meeting Sally, the apartment owner?
Nope. Not at all. We don't even take a look at these apartments. We literally just assume the worst of the worst when it comes to rehab.
Okay.
It's usually like around $10,000 to $15,000 a door that we assume. So but some of them, if it's like completely vacant, then it's gonna be way more.
Yeah.
$40 a square foot type of thing. And we just make an offer over the phone and shit. Sometimes we never even see these properties. Like we've sold mobile home parks in Florida that we've never seen before. In the boonies, never seen before and shit.
I see other people I think you really know. You've probably done this obviously you've done this for a decent amount of time. I see other virtual wholesalers where they're doing this thing where they don't go out to the property, but maybe they don't have the knowledge or maybe they do, maybe they don't have the knowledge or understanding, but they're only closing like say like 25 to 50% of their deals they lock up, because maybe they just did a bunch of offers and they didn't like know how much in repairs.
Right.
Do you say they're closer to like 30? Say they're only closing like 30% of the contracts they get. For people out there, I know you said that kind of the volume, make a bunch of offers.
Yeah.
I do actually agree with like if you're not making. I agree that if you're not making offers, you're not making money.
All right.
Do you think there's a certain like contract to close ratio that people should like look for, or do you kind of see some downsides to that model, or what do you see where I'm trying to go?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, man. So as far as contract, I think it really depends on the type of marketing that you're doing, because sometimes you're not.
So I just don't like to. I don't like me or my team to waste our time.
Right.
So like we're not giving them like super high. I don't think you are either, but like super high offers, right?
Right.
And then like going out there and like, oh, the numbers don't work. Like it just
I
don't want to waste our time.
It's a huge waste of time, man. So I would suggest people assume the worst on the rehab.
Okay.
From the beginning, you assume the worst. Because the seller could say that it's all nice and pretty and and when you get there, it's completely exactly. So when you get there, it's completely it's a shit show. So assume the worst on the rehab, and yeah, man, that's pretty much do your formula, assume the worst on the rehab, make the offer, go on to the next one, and if they come back and they're close to that price, and then it's worth actually taking a look at it, having maybe a runner go out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
man. But yeah, another thing is really your marketing has a huge factor in the fallout ratio between contracts.
Really, the type of marketing.
The type of the I wouldn't say the type of marketing. The quality of leads that are being submitted into the system, right?
Okay. So you're saying like a RVM lead compared to a PPC lead, or you're probably not doing PPC like for these apartment sellers or
yeah, no.
But
man, how can I explain it? Some of these leads that come in, they're. For instance, we've seen a lot of owners that, and they're not even the owners, and they come into our system pretending to be the owners, and it's usually from a certain marketing
SMS,
channel.
right?
SMS.
Okay.
Yeah. SMS. We get a lot of those. So we get a lot of people that come and waste our time. So so we take a look at that.
If you don't mind me asking, have y'all kind of toned back SMS marketing because of like some stuff like that?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. We're really big on the cold calling. Another thing, as far as like the fallout ratio goes, you want to have clear title before you actually sell the property. A lot of people, they really don't do that. I used to not do that. So
do you say before you sell? I know you said sell the property, but I think you mean something else. Do you mean before you market the property?
Market the property. There you go. Yeah.
So
before you market the property, you always want to have clear title.
I'm glad we're bringing this topic up, because I personally do think it's So I'm not a 7-figure wholesaler. So we basically do wholesaling on the side, and we're doing mainly fix and flips.
Right.
But so say I have a problem with this. Like, so you get the property under contract, right? We get the property in Houston for $100,000. The ARV is $200, and we're like, heck yeah, we got this super good deal, right? And then we're waiting on the title commitment to come back, and I'll advertise, because the downside is you advertise the deal, then the title commitment comes back and it's not clean, and then you already have the buyer locked up. But my concern is the way title companies are operating right now, Wilney, from what I see, it can take 2 weeks, or one of these smaller counties. Yeah. One of the smaller counties, it can take 2 weeks to get a title commitment back. And then you're supposed to, we tell these people, hey, we're going to close in 2.5 weeks, or 3 weeks, or 2.5 weeks.
Right.
And then we only have 5 days left to market the property and get the buyer to get their hard money to come through, or whatever else, if they're using that. Like, does that put your And what we know as wholesalers, the longer you have to market the property and get the financing lined up and stuff like that, the more you're able to make off the property.
Yeah.
So like, how do you look at that?
We put 45 business days on the contract.
Okay.
That helps us out a lot.
Y'all need to start taking notes on this stuff.
Yeah, 45 business days, man.
45 business days.
45 business days on the contract.
Do you tell them, hey, 45 business days, or is that like in the fine print?
It's in it's in the fine print. Yeah, it's on the contract.
You're like, hey, we'll try to close quick.
Yeah, we let them know, hey, look.
But then it says 45.
Exactly. Hey, we let them know, hey, look, Mr. Seller, we have 45 business days on the contract. But
we're gonna work to close quick.
Yeah, we want to close this month. We let them know, hey, look, we want to close this month. If you don't owe no taxes, if you don't owe nothing, then cool, we close this month. But let's say there's a lien on there or a judgment that has to get a release, but so
it's not super uncommon.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. I mean, sometimes people have credit card debt, and I know you say you don't have credit card debt, but sometimes things happen. There's something called same name affidavits for a reason. A lot of people, you might have a John Doe might have a debt on his name, but you guys have the same name, so now we got to figure out if you really have that debt. So so that's how we explain it to them.
Okay.
And
so like issues do come up, so we just need to be prepared.
Exactly.
That we have enough time to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, that 45 business days really saves our ass,
dude. Because I see some people creating the wrong expectations, like 10-day close, and then like dude, we can't even get the title commitment back in 10 days.
Yeah, man. I think setting expectations is probably the most important part. Whether it be in the acquisition process or the actual, the contract phase, right, where you're actually locking it up. I think setting the expectations, you'll save yourself a whole lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money by setting these correct expectations. So.
Okay. And I know I'm kind of just asking you a ton of questions here. Feel free to chime in. What I was gonna say is, I know people. I know for a fact, because I hear it. People are saying, "Hey, it's harder to get deals in 2022." I know y'all are pretty good with the amount of contracts y'all are getting. I think you're pretty decent with your lead to contract ratio. But what advice do you have on people, trying to improve their lead to contract or lead to deal ratio in 2022?
It would probably be have a great CRM, a good CRM. What CRM do you use?
We use Freedom Logic. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's like I think it's like Sean Terry is like pushing it a lot right now, and but he didn't make it or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Freedom Soft.
Yeah, it's
right? Freedom Soft.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I've used Freedom Soft. So we use Podio. Podio is we have a certain CRM on there that has nurture campaigns, right? That has these automated text and RVM campaigns that are automatic.
You told me something about this before. You were like, "Oh, the Spanish." You were like, "Oh, we do these Spanish voicemails." If I remember right, a year ago, I think you told me that.
Yeah, man, and
Tell me about
that
this.
is a game changer. That is a game changer for any wholesale business, honestly. So basically, we have these automated SMS and RVM campaigns that we activate for a specific lead, depending on their motivation, depending on their, what they're Spanish people or English people, and it basically texts them every other day, every week, every month,
depending on like how hot or cold.
Depending on how hot or cold are they, And another thing, it's these the offer not accepted campaigns also. So you put campaigns on offers that are not accepted.
Okay. So you met with them 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Or well, for instance, not in your case, you didn't meet with them.
Right.
Right. But you had a. So you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong here, just for a little clarification, your acquisition guy, Bob, he spoke with them over the phone and he said, "Hey, we're gonna need to be at 25,000 for the property."
Yep.
And they're at 50,000. They say, "Sorry, man, we just can't make it work." Are you saying your like you're essentially someone you made an offer before in the past, didn't work, or it could be a year ago or whatever. You're saying you're telling them, hey, we have a new offer for you, or hey, we're in.
No, we're really just trying to get them back engaged into the actual negotiating process. So one day after we make the offer, so let's say this, the same day that we make the offer, we put the nurture campaign. Nurture campaign goes out the next day, and the next day it says, hey, sorry we couldn't make it work. If anything changes, please let me know. Thanks. Bye.
Nice.
In 3 days, what happens is, hey, now that I know that that I'm not the buyer for your property, which is fine. What do you think you'll do with it? What do you think you'll do? And see if they engage.
Wow.
And 3 more days. Hey, so my finance manager just reached out to me, and they were asking me about your property. And
asking me about your property.
Yeah, and I'd love to make a deal work. Let me know let me know if you're still interested. And I'll go talk to the finance manager right now. And basically trying to get them to engage into renegotiating.
Okay.
So those campaigns are important, dude. They're really important. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how I feel like one of your strategies is, or one of your like areas of expertise is definitely the acquisitions. Is that what you'd say?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so, and really just marketing. I know how to find these fucking great deals, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
For my selfish interest as well, I own a decent amount of land. But I know, or I believe I've heard, or you've told me a little bit that you're flipping or wholesaling some big pieces of land for some pretty good profits too, right?
Yeah.
Are you pretty low key about that?
Oh,
what's up with
that? I mean, we do, man. Where do you have the land?
We own 24 acres right now in Lake Livingston area.
Holy shit.
In Cold Spring.
Cold Spring.
Yeah.
Isn't that on Alaska?
It is below Lake Livingston, so past Cleveland, just to the left, between Cleveland and Lake Livingston.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wanting to sell that coming up soon, but
got it for a good price.
Yeah, got it for a pretty good price. But yeah, is your so our we have a couple of different strategies with land. Obviously, you can wholesale it, right?
Yeah.
Or you can buy it if you can line up the financing.
Chop it up.
And resell it, or you can buy it, chop it up and resell it, or you could buy it. I don't mean to get all complicated for y'all. Or you could buy it, chop it up, and owner finance it out without your own money or whatever. So there's notes, there's holding, flipping, there's all kinds of stuff. There's obviously you could be building on it as well.
For sure.
What's your favorite exit strategy? I think you've wholesaled some of this, and then
I've wholesaled the majority of it.
Okay. It's easier, probably.
Way easier. I mean, we have the most recent one that we did was like 50,000. And we didn't. It was a wholesale deal. It was just quickly, 30 days.
How big a land? If you
20 acres.
Okay.
No, 25 acres. It was
That's
25 acres in New Caney.
Oh yeah. So that's not far from here.
Yeah, man. So we sold that for I think we got it for 300. Sold it. No, we got it for 285. We sold it for, I think, 335, something like that.
Okay.
335, 345, something like that.
And I think about that for myself as an asset class that you could, if you're properly structured, right?
Yeah.
That you could still be, going up on the value, but still, having room to negotiate.
100%.
I think there's definitely some
100%.
You're starting to smile.
Yeah, man.
I think there's really some negotiating room.
There's a lot of room there for sure.
But there's not necessarily just depending on the area, you can't always assume you have a buyer.
Yeah.
If depending on the acreage and stuff, my one friend was trying to get me to buy 96 acres yesterday, more toward east side or south, kind of like east side. And I basically told him it's just that size acreage at that price was just a little bit too much for me to buy. And I said, somebody's interested though at the right price if they're going to develop it for commercial warehouses are really big right now,
right.
or resident or you know, whatever they want to build. There's a buyer out there, but just kind of depending, you know.
100%, man. So the way that we tackle those land deals, we have a lot of land deals that come in from everywhere, man. Everywhere, all over Texas, because we do market to the whole state of Texas.
Yeah.
If we don't see any activity, any sold comps for land or new construction in the area,
it's pretty hard to run some comps on this sometimes.
Yeah, it is. How we do it is based off price per square foot. You know, everything is going based off price per square foot for us. It's way easier like that. And if there's no new construction, I mean, if there's no new comps for land to base your analysis on a price per square foot type of structure on an analysis, right? You then go based off the houses. You know, what is a house going for? A new construction house. If it's, I don't know, 200,000 and it's 2020 build, 10,000 square foot lot, and you have a 10,000 square foot lot, usually the builder is going to want to be all in at 50% of the new construction ARV, so which is 30,000.
Okay.
So for that lot that you have, the 10,000 square foot lot, offer 10, 15.
I like it, guys. I've definitely heard some people in Houston on some gas and saying, "Oh, the builder wants to be in at 30% or something on the lot."
Yeah.
So
really, man, maybe I'm
it's
selling it too high.
maybe in the heights or something. I think it's area dependent. Right?
Yeah, right.
So
yeah,
like in the heights, maybe you get away with something like that. You know, maybe sell it to our friend or
100%.
whatever. But okay, cool. That's a good mindset on that.
Man, I gotta take a look at the heights, man.
I gave him that idea.
Yeah.
Do you find it harder with your marketing when you're marketing all over Texas, like just running, like evaluating, just harder as a business model all over Texas, or you just really like that all over business model because maybe that's able to help your margins, or I don't know.
Right. So we have MLS access almost in every single market.
So you're saying Corpus, San Antonio,
Dallas, Austin, Houston,
Beaumont.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So we got like 6 MLS logins, for different markets, and we don't have MLS access for the whole state of Texas, but for a good majority, mainly the metropolitan, the major markets, right? So, but we don't market for these houses or lots all over Texas, just the multifamily.
Okay, just the multifamily all over Texas, and then in Houston, like houses.
Yeah, and sometimes we do get some land out in the outskirts of these major markets, but it's really all over. It's really just multifamily.
Okay. Cool. Well, sounds good. I really appreciate it, Wilney. Do you have any last thoughts for anybody in 2022? Like, anything to leave the listeners with? I really appreciate all the gems. I hope y'all were taking notes.
Oh yeah. Sure. I would say to invest in yourself, man. Honestly, life didn't change for me until I invested in myself. Back in 2019, I spent $5,000 on my education at a workshop, and very risky decision, and I never done it before. But I would say to you guys, invest in yourself, whether it be with anybody, dude, anybody. It could be me, it could be Ben, it could be anybody. You just have to put money out there, because that's a bet on yourself, and that's the only way that you're gonna grow. So yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I like it. Well, appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank you so much. We'll have to do a deal soon or something.
Hell yeah, we do, man.
So, thank you.
For sure.